Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another live for our day 3 of the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. And we are here with the amazing Jav Sid, who is in Australia. So she's on Sunday. This always gets people confused. It's 6 o'clock in the morning in Sunday, and she is in winter, not summer. So we are excited to have Jav, and we're going to go over and have some great conversations. But first, we want to thank Jav for being our sponsor. So Jav is one of our sponsors for the Scrapbooking Fun Summit, and she is sponsoring it through her Craftpreneur program, which is really helping you learn how to take your SVG designs and things like that and turn it into a side hustle, make passive income from it. So definitely exciting to hear more about that. And again, Jav, thank you so much for being a sponsor for the summit.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a fun experience. This is my first time doing it, and I'm kind of super nervous, but yeah, really excited to what's coming up. And thank you so much, guys, for the support and the special upgrade and everything. I really appreciate it. Let's get this started.
Let's go. So first of all, I did kind of give them a hint, but where are you in the world?
I am in Melbourne, Australia, all the way on the opposite side of the world. And we live an opposite life as well. We are in winter and it is raining outside, so it's pretty cold.
We actually have a lot of Australians in our summit because of the speakers Tracy's gotten. When I was looking at our list of, it was on Facebook, most interactive people on Facebook. So by the way, North Americans, this is a challenge. The most interactive country was the US, then Canada, and then Australia. But the most interactive cities, Australia was 4 out of 5.
Yay!
The most interactive cities in our Facebook group. So the rest of the world who's on our Facebook group has not been as interactive as the Aussies have. So we do have it's like United States, Canada, and Australia are their top 3 groups, but we have a lot of Australians and New Zealanders in here. Someone says your hat is cute and no need to be nervous. So there you go.
Thank you.
The second question is, how did you get into paper crafting? What was the start of your journey into the paper crafting world?
Great question. In short, I'm going to say it was Cricut. Cricut made me do it. So I actually started my online journey with sewing. So I had a sewing blog where I shared sewing patterns. I used to design handbags and stuff like that. And I decided, and I really did not like the cutting part because sewing, you have to be so accurate to the dot or else everything goes wrong. So I decided to get a Cricut for like small projects. I used to make small wallets and stuff like that. It's easier to have somebody do the cutting for you. So I got my Cricut and I started with sewing projects, and eventually I ended up trying paper crafts because I always found paper crafts so fascinating. But again, I do not like the cutting part, so I never touched it. I never went to that side. But when I got my Cricut, I was like, okay, I can do so many things with this. And I started doing paper crafts. Like it was like a dream come true to finally be able to delve into paper crafting. And then I just got hooked onto it. I started making SVGs to give for free, and then to share with others. I started selling SVGs, and yep, it just grew from there.
Which is awesome. It's always curious to know what brings somebody into a world like this, and everybody starts from a different place. So do you use your SVGs mainly for card making, for scrapbooking, or do you just kind of use them for a whole bunch of different things?
So sorry, I was just going through the questions on.
We'll get the questions for you. We'll bring the questions on for you.
I got distracted. Sorry, what was the question again?
It's okay. I just got distracted from my own question. What was my question, Tracy?
Basically, it was like, I know now I'm going to forget, but it was like, oh my goodness. It was something.
It was something to do with, do you use SVG files for card making, or other things?
Yeah, sorry. So I mostly create 3D SVG files. That was how I got started, because I really liked the idea of just layering things together and creating a unique design. So that's what I mostly do. I like to do 3D objects, like a Ferris wheel or like a cake topper and stuff like that. And the main thing that I got started with was 3D layered art, and there's a little story behind that as well. If you guys want to hear it, I can
Sure.
share it today. So what I was looking for when I started doing the 3D paper crafts was there was this trend back then in 2019 where you would create a 3D shadow box with rose flowers, rolled paper flowers. I don't know how many people remember that. So I wanted to create that as a gift for a friend. But then I was like, I don't have time to roll like 100 flowers together. So what could be a quick and easy way to do this? And then it clicked. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a 3D layered art, and I started designing it in my software, which is Affinity Designer. And the most amount of time I spent was designing it. And after that, once I had it ready for cutting, it just took me like about 5 to 10 minutes to assemble it. And I had a beautiful gift ready for my friends. So I had to make like 5 of them. And it made the process so much quicker to just having that layered art. And then I started designing more, and then I started selling them. And that's how I found my niche kind of thing.
And that's the way most of us find our niche. So that's really cool.
Thank you.
She's really small, and I think she's about to ask a question because her fingers went up, but I don't think she is.
Well, part of me is like, I'm going, did I hear you right or not? Because I'm curious about the Affinity software. It is something you designed, you said.
Yep.
Okay, because
So
that's what I thought since day one, but I wasn't sure. And please, I am not the techie as the rest of us all know me here, but I am just curious about this. Yeah.
Affinity Design is open source, is it? Is that?
it's not open source. You gotta purchase it, but it's a very affordable price. So the first time I got the software was just $50, and then now they have slightly increased the price, probably around 60 or something, but not much of a difference. But yeah, it's a one-time purchase, and it's a vector design software, and I've been using it since 2023, 2024 for creating digital designs, and I absolutely love it to the
So
core.
you don't use the you don't use Cricut Design Studio. You use Affinity to design your stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I use Affinity Designer to create the designs, and to cut them out, need to use the Cricut Design Space.
Right.
But I don't do very heavy designing in Cricut Design Space.
So, and your Affinity designs would then be good for silhouette or cut and rather scan and cut, etc. Is that right?
Yes, you can create the designs and export them in the file format that is compatible with all the other machines.
Right. That makes sense. So yeah, that makes sense. Very good. We have a question that we ask everybody, which is always be interesting your answer, which is, and we've had some great answers. It's the first time we've asked this question as we go through the summit, is in your journey to where you are now in doing this crafting and doing your designs, what was the biggest thing you had to conquer?
Oh my God. That's a tough one. The biggest thing was showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Showing up on the camera. Oh my God. It took me a lot of coaching to get that fear out and just show up on the camera. I had to hire a coach who had to talk me through the whole process. She's like, "You have to do the live. You have to show up." She really pushed me, and she's like, "If it is your business, if you don't show up, it's not gonna work out." And I had to get a lot of coaching done for like 12 months, and then I was ready to take the leap. And now it just comes naturally. I don't think about it. I just do lives randomly on my Instagram and everywhere. Yeah, that was the biggest thing.
Well, okay, because obviously, as Heather because she's with my business coach that said, Trace, get going out there. I totally understand what you're saying. But let me say something else is that no way would I've ever said that that was your, would have been the same thing for you. And again, maybe because that's how I discovered you, right? So I'd be like, yeah, she's been doing it forever,
No.
so that's just, I don't know, you made me think there. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's very, we've had lots of really good answers, but a lot of them do center around confidence, finding your own style, showing up online. They're all kind of things that women, I mean, I'm a business coach. That is my real career. This is my other career that we've created. Tracy and I met networking in person long before the pandemic. And she was doing her scrapbooking and printing stuff, and I was doing my business coaching. And then I've done online summits since ages, like before they ever entered in the crafting space. And I saw one, I went, oh, Tracy, I have an idea. And I invited her over for lunch, and she was not ever done a video on camera, didn't want to do anything online, hates technology. And look at what we've done. So yeah, sometimes it's just showing up and trying it. So
wow, I always wondered, you guys have such a beautiful and such a successful relationship in the online business, and I haven't seen this kind of thing very often. I don't really see it, and it really amazes me how you guys carry this brand together. It's a very awesome. And I used to always wonder, how did you guys start it? But thanks for sharing that.
now we start, and we complement. We don't disagree, but we rarely disagree. Sometimes I have to drop an idea to Tracy and let her digest it and come back to it, which is how our membership was born. It's like there's a digestion period, but I've learned. But she doesn't take as long to digest anymore. Like I dropped an idea this morning and she's off running on it. So the digestion period has gotten a lot safe, but we're really lucky.
Depends what it is, so don't go carried away. But yes.
But we are really lucky, because even when we do conflict at all, it's very rare. And it's usually because one of us is tired or one of us has got a lot on our plate. But we have been really, really fortunate. It just works really well. So
yeah, I mean, if you guys release a course or something on how to collaborate like this and run a business together, I'll be the first one to take it.
yeah, see, that's a trick for me on my business side, so I can do that.
That's an interesting idea.
It is an interesting idea. And it's not always, I've tried with other, it's not always easy. I mean, we knew each other enough in the right realm that I felt confident approaching her.
Right.
I'm always looking for like other relationships like that, and I don't always feel confident approaching her. But we actually live really close together, but we don't see each other very often face to face, because we're always on Zoom doing something. So we live on the other side of the forest. But that was a great answer. And for anybody who's wondering, it's not all of, like, Debbie was here. I think Debbie's still here, Debbie J. It may seem like people are natural on cameras, but it's not easy to, and it's sometimes really hard to show up and speak to no one. Which is usually what happens when you first start this, right? Is anybody out there listening? Is anybody watching me? So always give your online creators some love, because it takes a lot to come and show up on camera and keep doing it. So
yes,
absolutely do that. Do you want to give us a little bit about the project, that the video that you taught in the summer?
Awesome. So I thought this is summer, and when it comes to, I do a little bit of scrapbooking. I won't say like I am an expert or something. I do it very regularly. But when I get time, I do like to decorate my planner. It's not exactly scrapbooking, but I do decorate my planner based on the seasons and stuff. So I was like, okay, in summer, what would people like to do? And I said, okay, so maybe you want to create a summer scrapbook page or something like that. So let's design an SVG that you can use on your scrapbook paper to decorate it like a hello summer sign. So that's where I got the idea. And you can create that for any season. The techniques and tutorial that I've shared, you can use that to create so many other text headers and stuff that you can put on your scrapbooking paper. And when it comes to cutting SVGs on paper, there are some things that you need to keep in mind to make sure that the cut is perfect and the material doesn't tear up. So I've shared all of these tips and techniques inside the tutorial, so you can use that for your other projects, for your other paper crafts, for your other scrapbooking crafts. So that's the beauty of SVGs. You can make custom SVGs, text SVGs that you can cut and then decorate your scrapbooking paper.
Which is awesome. And those are great. And I love when people, some of our presenters really do focus on techniques. It doesn't, the end product isn't as important as the techniques that you're learning, because that's going to give you a skill set. So if anybody has any questions specifically to Jav's project, put them in. And yes, Debbie's saying she's done a lot of videos to empty audiences. I have too, many times in the business space. And sometimes you finally get good at it, but there's tricks to it too. The first time you're doing a video too, and I used to teach people this, is to draw a face and put it right beside your camera so that you're actually focused on your camera, because we often talk to what we see, not to where the camera is. And so draw a happy face and just kind of stick it there and talk to the happy face is one technique that can help a lot. And there are tricks to doing this. I have a question. If you knew somebody who had a Cricut that's in a box on a shelf, I'm not pointing at anybody, Jav, who has one on a shelf, what would be your advice if they're just like intimidated by the technology and they haven't unboxed it? What advice would you give them to unbox it and get it out of the box?
Just do it. Just do it. Look, you have already spent so much on it. It's not a cheap machine. You've already spent so much on it. Just go ahead and get it out the box and just do it. Trust me, you are gonna love it once you start using it. Especially if you do the first project step by step as they listed over there. I mean, and if you watch a lot of videos and stuff, you will feel confident to start using it. Just use it. Make the first project. Just do it.
Maybe that's your problem, Tracy. It was gifted to Tracy, I think, was it not? It was gifted, so she doesn't have the investment in it in the same way.
Oh, yeah, no offense. I would not have purchased it, that's for sure. And I know it's one that, it's technology. Like, I better try and use it before it's totally out of date, right? I know that.
I'm going to have to come over and create a project and try it. There you go. I'm the techie of the two of us, as you can probably tell. So I would be, it's funny. I would have fun designing in Design Space. Like I would have in those spaces in Affinity Design. Like I love playing in Canva and creating things in that. So it would be fun. But one of these days, that's good advice. Though, is just get it out and plug it in. Plug it in. She was dared to do that. Suzette's not here. She has a dare out to do it, but it hasn't made it out of the box yet. And we tease her a lot about this.
It might be.
It might be out of the box.
Soon.
Soon.
That's so cute.
Tracy, Debbie asked, what machine is it? Do you remember?
Yeah, machine. Debbie, I'd have to go downstairs to tell you that.
It's a Cricut. I think it's a Cricut Maker, you said long ago.
I can't remember which one I said. I would have been telling you the truth. I just can't remember it. I'm so sorry. I can't.
You don't have to apologize. It's just one of those funny things of exactly what it would do. Do you have a theme of things you really like to design? Like, do you have a in your own design files that you've created?
Style of SVGs is that one? Yeah, I love doing the 3D SVGs, 3D layered SVGs mainly. Yeah, that's my favorite. It's so easy to put them together once you have the design ready. Yep, that's my favorite.
We have in our circle, so we run a membership called the Scrapbooking Fun Circle, and we get together once a week to craft. And one of our circle members, Michelle, does the 3D. She'll do a card with us when we're doing cards, and she does do them, and she likes the printable stuff that people do, but she loves the 3D. So we had a challenge in May. Was it May challenge? Yeah. I'm trying to think of which challenge it was. We had it was April. A challenge to use wheels.
Yeah.
And do that. So she did a 3D Ferris wheel. I don't know where she got the pattern, because it may have been your pattern. I'm not sure where she got the pattern, but she did a 3D Ferris wheel and it was cool. And she's done beautiful houses, and it just intrigues, and the things that you can do with paper is really great.
Yeah, it is. It is really fascinating. So many beautiful stuff you can make. Wow.
Yes,
So
there
you do design the patterns,
Yeah.
correct? So do you rather, like, what do you love more, doing more, designing that pattern or then going, okay, I've got it, and then you, I'm going to say print it out, but whatever, then you cut it out and put it together. Like, what do you like?
Mm,
What's
I
better for you?
think
More funner than it's not a word.
I think I like the digital part more because uh, it's just simpler. You're just using the software, and you don't have to like really worry about other things like your paper not cutting properly, and you have to watch your machine because it's I don't know, it's very relaxing to do just the designing part, and sometimes I just get so zoned out into the designing, playing with the tools. Sometimes I don't even remember how long has it been since I started designing. So yeah, I think I prefer the designing part more than the physical cutting part.
do
And
you
Okay.
do you build everything you design before you put it up in the store, or have you got the confidence now that you don't need to build it?
For 3D projects, I build everything. Not the 3D layered ones because that they are self-explanatory. You just have to stack them up. But like other projects, like a Ferris wheel or a favor box, those I do test out because they have to be perfectly sized for people to create them. So I always test them out. And now I have a designer who works for me who creates, I just give her the idea that this is what I want, and she just creates everything. And then I test it out before I share it with the world.
And so what do you do with all your test samples? Your
Uh, they most of them like the test ones. They're really basic. I don't do like all the embellishments and everything. So
right.
it's just a scrap test. They mostly end up in the bins. And uh, the final project that I make, which is for staging and for taking pictures, uh, I I do plan on sending them to the op shop, thrift store, or somebody who would make use of it. But I haven't gotten the chance yet because after every, I'm mostly making crafts for summits, and after every summit we move houses, so I always end up throwing them away.
Oh,
But
that's
I have some for my last summit, which I have packed to send to an op shop or something. Yeah.
mhm. Very cool, because they're beautiful. I mean, I've seen a lot of these 3D ones, and they're wow, they are just gorgeous.
Thank you.
So, any questions about design space, about doing SVGs, about using? Talk a little bit about your craftpreneur and that whole idea of helping people make passive income off of their files.
Sure, awesome. So I have a membership called SVGs Gifts and Party Craftpreneurs, which is an all-in-one membership for Cricut paper crafters. So the idea was to help people design SVGs, but also give them all the tools to create projects from SVGs, and all the tips and strategies that you need to make paper crafting successful with your Cricut. And keeping that in mind, like I don't want people going to 10 different places for 10 different things. I, I thought of offering everything in-house, everything under one umbrella, so people can get the most value out of this membership. They get access to all the previous projects. I have like around 100 plus SVGs library inside of my membership, and I have like around 100 plus videos to help everybody create SVG designs and sell them for a passive income. So you don't not only learn to design SVGs, but you also learn all the business side of the stuff that goes into selling SVGs, which is email marketing, social media marketing, um, looking for trendy designs to sell, and all those amazing stuff with tons of tips, everything inside of one place. So you if you have a goal of making passive income, this is the place to be.
That sounds amazing. It's amazing amount of resources. Do you show them how to sell it like on Etsy or creating their own website, or is it selling the finished product, or is it selling the files, or both?
So I mostly focus on selling the files. That's where my expertise lies, selling digital products. And so that's what we focus on most inside of the membership. Uh, and it's always about digital products, how to sell digital products, how to market your digital products, as opposed to selling the physical ones.
Okay, excellent. We have a question. It's a great resource, especially, a lot of people kind of want to pay for their habit. It's like you guys are addicted to this habit, especially the crafters. So learning how to make passive income from what you're already addicted to can help pay for the habit that you have.
Exactly.
But you can also make profitable businesses depending what you want to do. But just paying for the habit is a good start for a lot of, and that's what passive income is all about. A question for you about Affinity Design. When you convert text to curves, does your file become a PDF or an SVG?
It stays as an SVG, but you have the option to export it as a PDF as well.
So it's both, if you want.
So the thing is, like, the design stays in the software, and the final output, which is the SVG or a PDF or a PNG or a JPEG, it depends on how you want to export it. So the software gives you all of these options to export in all these different file formats. So it's how do I say it? It's you have the ability to choose what format would you like to export in.
Is there so for somebody who is actually thinking about selling them, I don't know a lot about the online software. I know that Cricut has some, they don't give you the rights to sell necessarily, but Affinity Design, do you need a business license, or is it like an open design?
It's an open design. So you purchase the software and you create whatever you want to create inside of the software, and it's all yours.
Okay. So unlike Cricut, where you can't do that,
Yeah.
from my understanding?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So if you do want to do this in business and you want to sell your designs and you can't do it in Cricut, you have to go to Affinity. Now, somebody said in Silhouette, there's a business version, I think.
Yes. There is a business version, but I'm not sure what all options there are in the business version.
Is there any compatibility issues with Affinity Design and Cricut and the other cutting machines, or?
Sometimes Affinity Designer settings are not aligned the way it should be with the Cricut settings. So sometimes when you export your design, it turns out to be very small. But there is a workaround it. You gotta tweak some settings, and then it's gonna be fine. So there are some times when their coding doesn't match properly, which creates issues, but there's always a workaround to fix it.
Okay. Is that similar with, can you export Affinity to Silhouette and to?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it's a general one, which makes sense.
Yep.
Interesting. Any questions specifically in the comments for Jav about anything in Affinity Design, using SVG files, anything specific that, or business? Running your business is always a fun one of having to do this, because there is a lot of moving parts, but it doesn't have to be complicated, would be my advice in this. So simple is better.
Yes.
when it comes to all the business stuff that's out there. And there's more things available to you nowadays than there was 5 years ago to make it even easier.
Yes.
So there's a lot of, and it's changing so fast right now, it's hard to keep up with what's going on. It's very true. Do you design for yourself just for the fun of it?
Yes, sometimes I do. But I rarely get any time because I also work full time, and it gets a bit hectic. So it's hard to get time out for doing some fun stuff. So I mean, I enjoy the whole crafting in as a business as well. So, but doing something personal, it's very rare.
And that's true for a lot of business owners. So that's nothing new, especially if you're working full time on top of that. So Ruth asked, "Where is your little bird?" So people have asked about you, birdie. Is he sleeping or she sleeping?
Yeah, they're all sleeping at this time because it's early in the morning. The two, so we have two little budgies and one Indian ringneck, the big one. And the Indian ringnecks has a proper sleep time, so it goes to sleep at 6 p.m. and wakes up at around 9 ish. And the other two budgies, they sleep in near the window. So as soon as the sun comes up, they're up, and as soon as the sun goes down, they're asleep. So yeah,
You're in
so
your winter, so your days are shorter right now. So
yeah. And I just wanted to say hi, Ruth. Nice to see you here.
yes, Susan forgot about your bird too. So people do know your bird. See, it's amazing what people remember about each other. So
Yeah.
your bird. I'm trying to see what other questions are in there.
So
Did I miss any?
strange that the chirping in the background. Like, I never knew you had birds. That's really, I just learned something. Because no offense, I can't learn all the cricket things all at once, but
You would know birds chirping in the background. Do they appear on your videos then? Are your birds?
Yep, they do. Because my bird is overly attached. We got it as the Indian ringneck, which is the large one. We got it when it was like 2 weeks old, and it was winter, and it just snuggle in my neck over here, and that's how I grew up. I would be working on my computer and would be just sleeping around me somewhere. So it's very attached. Whenever it wants, it's all over.
Those are our pets. Kathy. I was gonna say Tracy gets cat bombed, and that turned into Kathy. I don't know why, but Tracy often gets cat bombed. I used to get puppy bond. Susan's seen you at a bunch of summits, which is true. There is a summit circuit for sure of people coming on and doing that. How do you get your inspiration for your designs?
Great question. So I follow a lot of great paper. There are some really cool paper artists out there who create some beautiful, beautiful projects, and I'm just looking at them. Wow, this is just so pretty. How did they do it? And especially when you think about the composition and how they pair the different colors and patterns and bring projects together, it's just so amazing. So Instagram, Pinterest, those are the things that I like to look at to understand the how to pair different patterns and stuff like that together. And the basic idea to do something comes from I try to think about like the everyday things that people use. So for example, for my recent summit, I did like a rainbow favor box, rainbow cake topper, card cake topper, car favor box. So I try to think about what people actually would like to use in real life. And then I would also like do some Google search if this thing is something people looking for. And then I will think about what are the color and what are the different patterns that I can put together, and that's when I jump onto Pinterest to study the color composition and stuff. So it's like mix and match a little bit from everywhere.
And that's great. And that's it's a great way to do it. Now you can start using AI for some of that, by the way. It's good for that
Yes.
too. So it's like, how do I do this? I have a good question for, do you have any tips starting to design a shadow box? Do you start at the front or the back?
I first think of a picture. What do I want to represent in this shadow box? And then I start doing the layers. Then I think about, okay, how many layers do I want? Do I want to make it super detailed, or do I want to make it simple with 5 layers? Because you can go up. Some of my projects have like around 20 layers, and some of them just have 5 layers. So it depends on what depth I want to achieve. And yes, I start from the top because it's easier to go one step further down when you start from the top. Because the top part is the most detailed image, and then you can keep on removing the details as you go further down with your shadow box.
That makes sense. So you start with a crisp image and then you're building the detail
Yeah.
behind it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Great question, Ruth. And hopefully that answers your question. Susan asked, did you make the clothing on the mannequin behind you?
Oh no, it was just a ready-made. Put it up.
It looks lovely. Your colors tone are lovely.
Thank
I had a question and now it's kind of like, oh, I got a great question, but I'll read this one first and it'll come back to me. Have you done a 3D bird? That was my question.
No, I haven't, surprisingly. I do think about it like, okay, I need to create a bird. I need to do like a pet bird kind of theme, but it's still in my mind. I'm waiting for the right day.
It would be a great branding for you.
That is a good one, Heather, because I can see, then it's sitting on her shoulder. The real bird coming.
But a bird cake. Oh, a bird cake topper would be good.
Yeah.
And you have such beautiful, colorful birds and things like that. It would be a good one to do. So now you have a new challenge for yourself of how you put it together. And that would be, have you done animals before? Or are they more structures?
I have done animals, but they were just one set of wild animal SVGs, 3D SVGs that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Not much. Yeah. Haven't done much in the animal space.
My grandson loved the crayon 3D car when I made it.
Oh, wow. That is so awesome. Yeah, that was my just the previous summit I did in March. I created a car crayon favor box that was for the party favors. So yay, I'm so glad.
It's always
Get
nice
up
to hear. Yeah. Well, it's nice to get to hear that your stuff is used and people are creating stuff with it and doing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I would assume, I'm making an assumption here, so I should turn it into a question. If you're doing like cake toppers, what is it more popular for kids, like young kids, or is it more popular for occasions, or what do you see people the most interested in?
I see it's more like an occasion based.
Okay.
Because cake toppers are so versatile, and you can have a cake for any occasion. So that means you can have a cake topper for any occasion.
Mm-hmm.
But I just did a graduation cake topper. And I created just a recent video on creating a graduation cake topper, and then you can do bridal shower cake toppers, engagement cake toppers, so many different based on the occasion. So yeah, you can really customize them.
Which is very cool. I guess, yeah, if you have a design, you can change your colors and you can change what you're doing and then have multiple cake toppers. There you go. That's a reason to take out your Cricut, Tracy.
Yep.
Sorry, for my cakes?
To make cake toppers, not for your cakes, for the cakes you're going to give to somebody.
I'm like, hang on there. Whoa, you don't want me to make a cake.
You can buy a cake and make a cake topper, and then people will be more impressed by the cake topper than the bought cake. So, yeah. We'll get that Cricut off the shelf one of these days. One way or the other, we'll get it off the shelf. So,
yes.
Now that's true. I know that we haven't talked about this yet, but if you don't have a Cricut, one thing that we discovered through this summit is that a lot of libraries have them. So you can create your files in I was surprised to find that our local library has them, and you can book time on the Cricut machine. So if it's something that you want to try and nobody's gifted you one and you don't want to invest in one, I know that in North America, at least in Canada and the US, a lot of the libraries have access to them, which I think is very cool.
That's
Yeah, it
right,
is.
Susan. You just feel bad for me, okay? I'm the victim.
She's no victim. She's no victim at all. Any other questions for Jav? We have about another 5 minutes before we have to go to our other Aussie. We have another Australian in today, which is Alicia, who does beautiful printables.
Awesome.
And so she's in Brisbane, so she's a little warmer than you.
Yeah, we were in Brisbane last year, and then we moved back to Melbourne.
Melbourne is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I actually like Melbourne more than any other places.
It's
This
very
is where we came when we first moved here, and I absolutely fell in love with everything that Melbourne has to offer, especially the weather is my favorite.
Debbie's inviting you to Florida, Tracy, to go live with her and break out the machine. So there you go. You can get a Florida
it's funny.
vacation. And
I don't read any Florida. I read I want to come on live with me. Or maybe live with me. Sorry. I was reading live with me.
Well, it is live, but it's live, I think, at this point in time. But Melbourne is beautiful. Here's a totally not a scrapbooking story, but my very first trip to Australia, because I worked there and I worked in Melbourne for like 6 months. And we flew into Sydney and we were in, we got stuck on the runway and we were in business class. We got upgraded from the Sydney to Melbourne flight. And this very old, distinguished gentleman came by and was trying to explain the difference between Sydney and Melbourne to me. And he goes, Melbourne is the beautiful, elegant European woman and Sydney is the whore. And then he walked away and it was like, okay. But when you live there, you can kind of get that, right? Melbourne is more European. It has that, and Sydney is a little bit more partying, a little bit more with the district and all that. And I'm like, okay. And that was my first introduction to Australia, was that person saying that. So
that was quite interesting and out of the box. Like, wow.
I was out of the box too. It was like, yeah, okay. She did mean live. I read live and she meant live. So Tracy, you don't have to go. You're not invited to Florida. So there you go.
Yeah, no, I got that in Debbie. Debbie's like, yeah, I don't want her living here.
I don't
No
want her
way.
to come
Don't
to
come visit.
When you do messages, you're okay. It's all good.
It's fine, Debbie. I'll go to Australia.
There you go. Places we can travel virtually.
Come here.
Yeah.
When it warms up. Although it's not cold. For us Canadians, it's not cold.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have that degree in, who knows, 2 more days. We'll be like, oh, we're back.
It was one of those things. It's never really cold in Australia unless you go very south, which I never did. So if you go to Tasmania, that can be cold.
It is.
So, yes. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sponsoring part of the summit. That's been great to have. We really appreciate sponsorships. They help us put this on. And thank you, everyone, for being here and for listening. Go watch Jav's video. Go download and go to her shop. And if you're thinking about doing a business, if you're thinking about how can I make money off of some of what I'm doing, check out Jav's on SVG and
SVG and Entrepreneurs members.
Jav, oh, you got a question. What do you find? Just as we're going, she got a question. One last question. Jav, what do you find the most difficult thing to teach people about digital design? That's a great question.
Oh, what do I find difficult?
The most difficult to teach people about digital designing?
I think it is.
Other than to take their Cricut out of the box. Go ahead. Sorry.
It is about getting into the right, finding your niche. I think that's that takes some time to find out what sells and what aligns with you and what also aligns with what people want. Like getting into that sweet spot takes some time. But once you get into that momentum, then it just flows.
Yeah, and I would agree with that on any business level. Finding your niche and finding your sweet spot is the hardest part. And we always think it's broad, but really we do better when we're narrow than when we're really broad. So absolutely good piece of advice. Well, thank you so much, Jav, and everyone who's been online. We have in 10 minutes, we got 10 more minutes, we'll be on with Alicia who does the most beautiful printables. So we'll be on from Alicia, who will also be in Sunday. So Jav, thank you for joining us. Thank you for doing the sponsorship. Thank you for being part of the summit. And everyone, join us on the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.